Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Sussex Sandra and happy 2018. I hope you had a wonderful New Year celebration. So today I am going to be doing another foundation review, and it's one of the foundations I purchased with a little bit of the Christmas money I got to treat myself to some stuff that I wanted to buy, which is always makeup. And I bought a whole range of foundations from ASOS.com using the 20% discount that was behind day 25 of the ASOS Beauty Advent Calendar. The foundation I am doing today is by Estee Lauder. It's one of the foundations in the Estee Lauder Double Wear brand, and it is the nude one. So let me get the bottle. This is the packaging, so it's the same sort of packaging as before, and the bottle looks like this. Okay, so that's the bottle. It's available in something like 30 shades, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'll put the correct details up above on the screen. And the bottle is very similar to the original Double Wear Stay in Place foundation, just that the original bottle is not so tall. It's same style, so the glass bottle, gold top and the gold lettering, etc., but the bottle is wider, so it looks a bit shorter, but it's the same sort of style. Same quantity inside the bottle, 30 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce, and hopefully it promises that it's going to be an oil-free foundation as well, and I'm hoping it's going to be long wear, but I will go into the details of the foundation in a minute. I said it's about 30 odd shades in this. It's been out for about 6 months or so now. When it first launched, there wasn't, the usual thing, there wasn't that many shades. I think there was something like I think when it originally launched in the States, it was something like only 12 shades. Then it just branched out gradually. In the original foundation, there's something like 50, maybe 60 shades, a wide selection of shades in the original Stay in Place foundation. I'm assuming this will be the same as well eventually as they bring out more of the brands. So the difference with this foundation, and why I really wanted to try it, is that the Double Wear foundation, it works really well. It's a very long wear, full coverage foundation. It's absolutely perfect. The only problem I have with it is that I like foundations that are, yes, they're going to control my oils. That's a number one. Two, that I like them to be transfer proof, but that's something that I can't have always. But as long as it can control my oil for at least 4 hours, I'm usually happy. If it can do 6 hours, I'm really happy. Double Wear foundation can do usually 6 to 8 hours, no problems at all with me. The other thing I like about the Double Wear foundation is that it's very full coverage. What I don't like about the Double Wear foundation is that it's actually quite thick, and particularly in the summer, I don't like wearing foundations like that in the summer. I like to have something light in the summer. Actually, I like to wear foundations that feel light all the time but still give me a decent coverage. So what I've heard about this foundation is that it doesn't promise full coverage. I think it promises buildable coverage, but I'll read the details in a minute. From what I've seen from other people on YouTube, it seems to be more light to medium coverage. So before we go ahead and apply this, let me do my usual things. So for those of you who don't know, I've never seen my channel before, hello and welcome. As I said, my name is Sussex Sandra. I'm in my late 40s, so I'm actually 49 now. I've got blemished skin, hyperpigmentation, but my main skin concern is that I am very, very, very oily. I normally break out in oil within 1 to 2 hours of putting on anything on my face, moisturizer, foundation or anything. So I always look for a foundation that's going to at least try and control my oil for 4 hours. If it can control my oil for 4 hours, it's a pass and it stays with me. If it can't control for 4 hours, then I will either give it away, send it back or whatever, or just throw it away, depending on what my options are at the time. Right, so, but before I do that, I normally do a few little things to my face before I put the foundation on. These are my usual oil control hacks that I need to do. So the first thing I do is a double prime. I don't moisturize my skin during the day. I do at night time, but not in the day. So in the daytime, I cleanse my skin, I tone my skin as normal, and I'll double prime. The first primer I put on will tend to be a decentish primer, but it tends to be moisturizing. It's not something that I can wear by itself. So my moisturizing primer that I'm using at the moment is this one by Fenty Beauty. When I I tried this out initially with the foundation, the Fenty Beauty foundation. I found that it wasn't very oil controlling for me, but it was actually a very nice primer. So I put this on first, so let's do that. The next primer will be my Mattifying Primer. Normally when I'm trying out new foundations, I use my Becca Ever Matte Poreless Primer because that is my holy grail. I know it works. It's a fantastic oil controlling primer. But this week what I've been doing, I've been trying out a new one by Becca, and it's the Becca Velvet Blowing Primer, which is this one. And it seems to have the same sort of effect as the Becca Ever Matte, but I'm just giving it a test with different foundations this week just to see how it works. When I used it the other day, I found that it squirted out all over the place, so I've got to be careful in how I apply it. Now with this foundation, because I know that it's actually quite light, I am actually going to put a concealer on first, just to cover up all these little blemishes and things on my face. So my concealer of choice at the moment is the Tarte Shape Tape, and I've got this in the shade Rich, so I'm just going to put that on now. Okay, so concealer's on. Now I'm just going to set my face with just a normal setting powder. You can use any setting powder, but again, this is just another additional layer just to protect my face from oil breakthrough, and it's just another barrier. So I set my face with the setting powder. Right, now I'm shaking the foundation, and listen to that. Very watery, complete difference. I haven't got one of my original foundations with me because this foundation doesn't come with a pump. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm just assuming it doesn't come with a pump. That's one of the complaints I always have about the Estee Lauder bottles. At £32.50, you think they would at least supply a pump with it, wouldn't you? So there's no pump. So what I've done with my other bottles, because I've got two, I've got Nutmeg and I've got Truffle, I've decanted them both into airless pump bottles, so I can't show you the other bottles to compare. This shade, Sandalwood, I'm just trying it out because I've been told by several people that the two shades I've got, Nutmeg and Truffle, are still not the right shades for me, so I've got myself Sandalwood, and let's see how I get on with this. I've got a feeling it might be a little bit too light, but we shall see. Okay, so I'm going to apply the foundation with a sponge, a beauty blender. I know the foundation is actually very thin and watery, so it's not one I want to use a brush with. Let's see how I get on. So I've just put that much there. Let's see how I get on with that. Wow, when they say light, they're not joking. It just feels like I've just put a moisturiser on. It doesn't feel like anything at all, which is good. I want light, but I also want some coverage as well. So at the moment, it just looks like I've just put a little light wash of colour on my face, but nothing much. So I'm just going to pour some more out. Now I'm going to do the other side of my face while this side dries down. Okay, so that's, yeah, it's a light coverage. I'd say bordering on light to medium. So I'm going to put another layer on. Okay, so that's, I'd call that, say, 3 pumps on my face there. So I think that's the coverage I'm getting. It looks like it's a medium coverage, a solid medium coverage. So whilst that's drying down, let me read some information about it. Right, so let's get the right foundation up here. Let's have a look. Right, so we've got the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Water Fresh Makeup. This one has SPF 30 in it, which is different from the original foundation, which is an SPF 10. So what I will do, because it has got such a high SPF in it, I will do a flashback photograph to see what the flashback will be. With for those of you who may not know, foundations that have sun protection factor in it, SPF, they can sometimes give a really horrible white bounce back of light when you take a flash photography. So if you want to go somewhere and you go somewhere special and you're going to have photographs taken, it's worthwhile seeing how this foundation performs under various lighting. So I will put that picture in a moment of how this foundation looks with the flash, so we can see how it reflects. So it says it's lightweight, SPF 30, anti-pollution, 24-hour wear, light to medium coverage. Actually, let me tell you what the time is now as I've applied the foundation, because I know I've been forgetting to do that recently, haven't I? To show you the time first thing in the morning. Right, so it's about 9:45 right now. So I will be wearing the foundation for a good 6-7 hours at least. Cashback. Other sites like Debenhams will get 7%, ASOS you'll get 10%, 12%. You know, different sites will give you different cashback. So do shop around to see who's going to give you the most cashback if you do want to buy this foundation. And also look out for discounts, because I try not to buy anything at full price. That's one thing you'll realise about me. I never pay full price for anything. So these are all the shades available in the Nude. As you can see, there's quite a lot of shades there. Yeah, 33 shades in the Estee Lauder Nude. I'm in the Sandalwood, which is 6W1. That's what I'm wearing at the moment, and the colour seems okay. Product details: real skin flawless, real protection, 24-hour staying power, water light. This fluid long wear makeup feels like you have nothing. Moves comfortably with your skin, looks fresh, natural, healthy, even toned. With SPF 30 and antioxidants, it's your invisible defense against environmental damage from UV rays and pollution. Instantly and continuously hydrates with a moisture complex of red fruit extracts, including watermelon, lychee, seed and apple. In shades for all skin tones. Benefits: lightweight, SPF 30, anti-pollution, 24-hour wear, light to medium coverage. It's got loads of reviews and the score seems to be 4.2 out of 5 on the Estee Lauder website. So 79% of reviewers recommend this product. So it all looks good. So the foundation has set down. It's looking a bit light because I've got my ring light on. It's a very, very dark morning. So I'm keeping my ring light on so you can see what it looks like now. I will set my face, do the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back to you in a moment with my finished look. See you in a bit. Okay, so I've just done a simple look today, very simple. I really just want to test out this foundation to see if it's something I can wear to work, because it does feel really light, it feels really comfortable. What I'm concerned about, and these are what my worries are, because it is so light, I worry whether it's going to be able to control my oils. The second thing I'm concerned about is because they say it's a hydrating foundation, I wonder if it's just going to hydrate and make me just produce more oils. In theory, that shouldn't be the case, because they say if your skin is hydrated, your skin shouldn't react and produce more oils to combat the dehydration. So in theory, my oils should be controlled. But I am concerned, I admit. This is how it looks at the moment. I will come back. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to finish getting dressed, and when I go outside, because I've got lots of errands to do today before I go back to work tomorrow after the holidays. So I'm going to go outside. I will take some flash photography so you can see what the picture my face like with the flash. I'll take some pictures outside in natural daylight so you can see how it goes on, how it looks, and I'll see if I can do a half-day update just to see how the foundation is performing after a few hours. Alright, but I will see you at the end of the day with my final thoughts on this foundation to see how it has performed on my very oily skin. Alright, see you later. Hi, just a quick check-in just to see how this foundation is doing. The foundation I'm testing out today is the, Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Water Finish Makeup Foundation. It's this one in shade Sandalwood. So I'm 3 hours in and it's still looking all right. I've been outside. It's absolutely horrible out there, windy and rainy. And I thought, okay, this foundation isn't going to do too good here. So I was rushing about, just doing my chores, getting my car checked, all that usual thing. But no, the foundation still looks all right. It's a natural finish. And it's just a little bit oily around here, but nothing much, nothing that I can't handle. For some reason I look really pale, don't know why, but hey, but at the moment it still looks good. So, promising. Okay, so I've used 4 and a bit sheets there, and there has been foundation transfer on all of the sheets there. So how would that compare? So I think it looks a lot better now, but what I can see now is that there has been some fading up there, so obviously some transfer of the foundation. So for transfer, yes, it does transfer as soon as the oil starts to break through on the foundation. It probably doesn't control the oil as well as the double wear, but it feels more comfortable. So for transfer, I am going to give this a 7 out of 10 because it does start to transfer. So it's a 7 out of 10 for transfer. Oil control, it does control the oil. The oil really started to come through, I would say, after, I'd say a couple of hours ago. So we're looking at what? Probably like 5-6 hours in, so that's not bad. It really isn't that bad at all. So for oil control, I am actually going to give this out of 10. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Performance, well, it felt really comfortable, as I said earlier. It really did feel comfortable. The foundation has started to fade now, so you can see particularly on my forehead where there was more oil, so the foundation has transferred up there. And again, where all the transfers occurred, there's been fading. It was a very light coverage foundation in the first place. This is not a full coverage. I think I got just about a medium coverage on that. So I can't really sort of talk about the coverage because the coverage is never going to be that much anyway. But it has performed. It's done what I wanted it to do. It would have been fine for me during the day at work. I would have been happy wearing this that day. So I think for performance, it's done what I wanted it to do. And compared to other foundations of the similar type, I haven't really got that many light coverage foundations apart from some powder foundations like the Bare Minerals Original and Matte Foundation. I've got the Max Factor, that's a very light foundation as well. The Facefinity 3-in-1, that's a very light foundation as well. So if I'm comparing it to those, I would say that this has performed a little bit better than those, actually quite a lot better because there's more coverage on my face. So I think for performance, I am going to give this one an 8 out of 10 as well because it's done all right. It's done okay considering what it is. Price. Now, the price is £32.50. That's actually quite steep. It's actually a pretty expensive foundation. Because I've been finding some really good quality foundations recently, all under £30. I've found some foundations under £10, which have been really, really good. So I actually think the price is quite expensive. So actually I think the price is really expensive for what it is. I'd be happier paying the £32 for a more full coverage foundation, not for a light coverage. Does that sound weird? I think it depends on what you want from a foundation, and I like everything to be covered as much as possible, but I like a light feeling. So it's delivered on one half of the things that I really like, but not on the other. So I think the price is really expensive. So I'm actually going to give it a 4 out of 10 because £32.50 is actually quite steep. And if you've got a double wear foundation, I personally wouldn't rush out and go out and buy this one if you've already got the double wear. It depends on what you want for a foundation. This is the kind of foundation that will be ideal in the summer because it will give you the coverage you want, a lighter coverage, not full coverage, and that's it. But it'll probably give you similar performance to the double wear, but probably not as good in my opinion. And the last thing was shades. So currently there are 33 shades in the nude at the moment, and in the double wear standard, so the normal what do you call it, stay in place standard foundation, there's something like 60 shades available. So we're still half the shades available of the full range one, but still 30 odd shades isn't bad. I would have liked a darker shade, neutral, a more neutral one, but there wasn't anything. The next shade up was actually quite dark, so I think the Sandalwood was probably as good as I was going to get. but I know in the full range I could have got nutmeg, I could have got truffle, you know, I've got a choice of 2 in the standard. So if they bring those shades across into this, I'll be more than happy. So the shades at the moment is still good, it's still very, very good, particularly if you're in the fair, light and medium range. So I say for shade selection, as it is, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it is still pretty good. Would I buy this foundation again? Probably not. I'm going to use this foundation up, and I will use this up. I'm going to use it up now, actually, at work, because it's a comfortable foundation for me to wear to work. So would I buy it again? No. Basically because I'm getting the same sort of coverage and feel from the Bare Minerals Bare Pro. That's what I was thinking of. The Bare Pro Liquid Foundation, which is a light performing foundation. It's a little bit cheaper. It's only about £2-3 cheaper, but it's a bit cheaper, and it gives me better coverage. But it gives me a more comfortable feel. It transfers less. So I'd actually say the Bare Pro by Bare Minerals is a better liquid foundation for me than this one, if that's what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for that medium to full coverage. I want oil resistance, I want oil control, I want as much transfer resistance as possible, and I want a comfortable feeling foundation as well as a nice shade. So for me, between the Bare Pro and this, I would have gone for the Bare Pro, but it's still a good foundation. If you haven't got an Estee Lauder Double Wear before, and you kind of haven't tried it before, and you're not quite sure if you want a full coverage foundation, this would be a good one to start with, just to, you know, just to get a feel of how you feel about the range. I would actually quite like to try the light in this range, because there is a light as well. So there's the standard Stay in Place, there's a light, and then there's this one, which is Nude. I think I'd like to try the light, but I'd probably get a sample of that to see what that's like, rather than spending another £32.50, because I ain't doing that again. But overall, it's a good foundation. Something to try if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a light to medium coverage, if you want a light feeling comfortable foundation, very much a summer foundation. Or if you haven't got any issues with your complexion, so if your complexion is fairly blemish free, and you know, and you haven't got anything to worry about, then this foundation will be good for you. Or if you live in a really hot country with lots of humidity and heat, again, this is a good foundation. But no, I'm going to use this one up again. I'm not going to be buying it again. I'm being more ruthless with my foundations. I've got a lot of foundations here, and I've got everything covered in all the things I want. So now, if a foundation doesn't do what I want, and if it doesn't score a decent score, what I'd probably say over 32 out of 50, I'm sending it back. So it's a good foundation, but it depends on what you're looking for. Does that make sense? So if you're looking for light coverage, if you want a summer foundation, if you've got good skin but you want oil control, this is for you. Good shade selection, you'll be alright. Okay, I hope that was useful. If you found that useful and if you liked the video, please don't forget to give me a like down below and subscribe. And if you want to watch any of my other videos and know when I upload, please press the little bell next to the subscribe button, and that will notify you when I do my next upload. My next video is going to be on another foundation I purchased from theasos.com, and this one is from Lottie London, and it's called All About That Base. It's a stick foundation. I haven't got on that well with stick foundations in the past, so it's going to be interesting to see how I get along with this. That's not fair. I haven't got along very well with the Bobbi Brown foundation stick, but the Hourglass and the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation sticks have been alright. So let's see how I get along with this. The reviews for this that I've seen on YouTube, none of them have been very good so far. So that's the next one I'll be doing. Alright, take care, see you soon. Let me know what you think all down below in your comments. Please don't forget about my 500 subscriber giveaway. Details will be down below in the description box. Alright, take care, see you soon. Bye.